You are listening to the Backline Podcast.
All right, so today we're going to talk about cover shows and how much they suck.
All right.
Or do they?
They do.
All right, Tristan.
All right.
Thoughts?
I mean, just going off that, like, cover shows personally suck for me because I feel like we started it as an original band, so playing cover shows under the guise of My 134 is kind of bass-ackwards, but when it comes to playing those cover shows, I mean, they're fun, right? They don't just suck. And there's a lot to the reason they suck. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? Like up coming to the show, we have to practice songs verbatim, right? We have to listen to those songs and then come up with a way we want to play them. And then from there, just kind of like keep practicing them. It's not like an original song where you can like change it in the fly no matter what. You know,
right, because we're almost like a fucking jukebox.
Well, yeah, you're like a jukebox.
People are going to expect to hear everything.
Yeah, but this is like before you even get to the show. Like I'm talking before even getting there. Like the preparation that involves around playing a cover show, because you want to play it in a way that's memorable, but you also want to play it that does it honor to the cover itself. So it's not necessarily stress, but it's pressure to do justice to the song.
Right.
When you're playing it, but also learning a cue of songs is like different than having an original cue, and you know how each of those songs feels when you play them versus how people are receptive to certain songs. Because you can go, there's very much a difference between practicing for those two, because how your original song has come across as, because you're setting that precedence, right? Like you're setting that playing field. Whereas a cover song, people have heard, they have an expectation, and they know what the original people look like.
They want it to sound exactly like the original.
They do, but they know that you're a different, like, it depends on the crowd, but they kind of know who you are if they've heard you before. So there's two different strikes to that. Yeah, they've heard it before, they have an expectation, but they also expect you to play it a certain way because you've played it that way before and the kind of person you are and artist you are. I don't know. I mean, as a guitarist, you probably have a lot more to learn. You have to learn the structure. I mean, I'm a drummer, right? Just to be clear, like in this duo, when it comes to learning those things, it's a little bit simpler for me for cover songs because most cover songs have like a very specified beat. I can usually make stuff up on the fly.
Well,
it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, when you pointed at me, I want to go back to the pressure part, because I think the pressure is huge, because they expect us to play certain cover songs a certain way, and then when you get to the show and these drunk people are all around you, they expect you to play what they are shouting out to you, and you have no fucking idea how to play what they're telling you.
No, right.
And it's just like, we're here to play what we do. Take it or leave it. And I feel like we get away with that a lot more, obviously, in original shows, because people don't know our stuff, or they do, and they expect that. But when you go to cover shows and you show all these covers that you're doing, they're like, oh, these motherfuckers know Motley Crue.
Yeah,
they know
it.
Led Zeppelin. No, we don't. Or if we do, we don't want to play it. I can't sing Led Zeppelin. I can't sing Motley Crue.
I mean, in that same respect, right, it's like when you're just a cover band, like that's your shtick, right? That's what you do.
You have to know how to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely. But we're not that. But I feel like
it's hard to set that precedent because people expect a cover band when you're there playing covers.
And when we get booked all these local shows, because we're good at what we do, regardless of cover or original. And that's not me bragging. I'm just saying we are good at what we do. So people book us and they expect us to compensate for what they want. But they don't know what they want.
Well, right.
Because they book us when they see us doing our heavy stuff, and they're like, oh, when you guys come over, maybe just play some Skid Row. Or no, we're not doing that. What you booked is what you're going to get.
Right. And I mean, you can't blame the audience for that either, right?
That's kind of on us.
Well, it's not on us. It's on just society and how the way that society. No, it's on the way. Society. Right. It's on just like what you expect, like, because you have to put that into perspective, right? Like if you're going out to a bar and there's a cover band there, you want to throw songs at them to see if they know them, right? Now there are some times where we've been asked to play songs that are completely out of anything.
Freebird.
Well, not even just
Sweet
that.
Home Alabama.
It's like they're throwing recommendations at you that are just completely out of the realm.
I think my favorite was asking a two-piece to do. Who is the band I'm thinking of? I don't know. Fuck, dude. anyways, they ask, because we're up there as 2 people, and they ask for, something like, it's Rush. That was the band.
Yeah.
They asked for Rush. It's like,
So how do you expect
we
us to play
can't
that?
do
But
that.
they have no perspective on that, right? Like no audience member is gonna know these guys can't play Rush. There's just 2 guys. They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, they can play.
They
Rush.
don't understand what it takes.
No,
right,
but that's into perspective. That's
Right.
the way it is. But like when it comes to being in a cover, or not being in a cover band, but playing a cover show and having that happen, that's also additional pressure, right? Like you're queuing up songs in your head. What do I have to learn to appeal to these people?
right,
the next
or
time
what
around?
what is close to what they want to hear.
Right. No, exactly. Like spontaneousness.
And it sucks that it's like that because
because they can't do that to an original song.
right, and that's not what we started a band for. We
Right.
just get roped into because of where we grew up, because of our geometry, because of where we're at.
Right.
We had to start out by doing that stuff, and now that reputation has kind of haunted us.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good and bad way, because
Right.
my other topic to this topic, my other point to this topic is we've made some damn good money playing covers.
I mean, it pays better. It's gonna pay
it pays
better.
amazing.
Well, yeah.
But again, it's
catch-22.
Yeah, because you're up there pretty much putting on an act.
Right.
Because I mean,
It's not.
we like the cover songs we
Yeah.
do, but like you stated right away, when you get done learning them, practicing them all week, polishing them up, and then you're putting on this show of somebody else's song that
Right.
you learned for these people, it's not the same as playing an original
No, it's not.
at all.
It's not, because it has it's basically pre-seasoned meat. It's like you can only add so much flavor
Yeah.
to what's there. It's
Yeah.
like
I like that.
It's just there's not too much more you can do to it.
Yeah.
And people sometimes expect more than you can give, but at that point it's just like you should really just play that song on the jukebox and we're done. 'Cause
Yeah.
you'll enjoy it more.
But another thing that gets me, and kind of going off onto a different branch of this topic, is some of these bands that are strictly original. Man, we get slighted by them because we do some cover shows. But honestly, I think that says something about us, that we have I'm not saying it's a skill set, but I'm saying the toolbox to be able to do these. I mean, dude, we're doing acoustic cover shows with Johnny Cash. No, but we're covering Johnny Cash, Morgan Wallen, and then we do these electric shows where it is, we're doing Slayer, System of a Down, Nirvana, that people are like, you guys kill Nirvana, you guys kick ass on Nirvana, and then we do our own stuff, and it's like, why would you not, as these local, some of these bands take themselves as full-time musicians, why would you not take advantage of that if you could do that? Because it just puts you that much closer to doing it full-time.
Well, right.
But we get shade thrown because we do covers, but it also pays the most and gets honestly, it's got our name out there more than any of our original shows. And I hate to say that, but it's
because the industry, it's not so much the industry, but it's just like
the scene. It's
the
atmosphere you're around.
There's not so much in the way of originals anymore. It's kind of hard to find a bar or any venue that's like looking to fill a place. I mean, it's hard to fill a place with original music. It's like you have to go out on a limb to do it. It's like an entrepreneur, basically. But yeah, I mean, everybody's played a cover. There's no musician out there who's strictly only played.
Oh, I know who would fight, but yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It is what it is. But like, being that mixed band where you can kind of do both. I mean, that is
very much work to our advantage.
It's catch-22.
Yeah, but
advantage and disadvantage, because right now we're seeing burnout, right?
Oh my
where
God.
it's like, I don't want to keep playing these same covers because it just feels the same every time.
But then you see the end. Yeah. Because I know you had to talk me off the ledge there a couple weekends ago where we had a really
get offers.
Yeah, we had a really great cover show, and then the next day I woke up and I looked at Tristan and I said, I don't want to fucking play this show, because we had a show that night.
Yeah.
And Tristan had talked me off the edge, but once I got up on stage and into the groove, it was fine. But again, it was the mindset I was in of, here we go playing more covers.
Yeah.
Here we go playing to a bunch of drunk locals.
It's hard to give it your energy when you're wore out from doing them already. And it's already hard to put energy into covers sometimes because
Unless they're new to you or they mean something to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like some of the ones on our list meant something to us at one time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we've played them so fucking much that they have just lost a little bit of that.
I mean, to be fair, that kind of goes for everything, right? Like
absolutely. Moderation, right.
Well,
right.
it's not even that. If we did originals every night and it was the same thing, we'd probably run into the same conundrum where it would be just, we'd be burned out of our own songs. And that almost hurts worse sometimes.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
No, it's the same idea. Moderation and not overstaying your own welcome within your own realm of, making music and playing music. It's not. I mean, you can't listen to a song and repeat, and nobody,
right. No matter what, right.
nobody listens to the songs we play more than ourselves, right? It's like as much as we try to diversify our set every now and then, and people are listening to it. We're really the ones who need to put in the energy into those songs, and when we're listening to the same song every time, and we're trying to put out that energy every time, it really gets stale. Is the best way to explain it. It just loses its tact, kind of loses its appeal. It's like eating your favorite food every day.
Right.
You just you kind of run out of the flavor for it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for like cover shows and everything else. I feel like the goal is to either write enough music where you're diversifying your sets every time, or B, your cover songs are going to be diverse enough to where they don't get stale. But
I totally agree. But otherwise, I was thinking,
you switch it up, but.
You play the covers you're good at,
Mm-hmm.
and then somehow you sprinkle in a majority of your originals in these cover sets, because drunk people, when they hear one of your good originals that gets them headbanging, or what was that?
Yeah.
So it really is a double-edged sword, as is playing all original shows.
Right.
Because you're to go to all original shows, you are jacked up, you're ready. You load in your gear. You and I have been through this.
Yeah.
You don't play till 11 o'clock, but you have to get there at 5 to load in.
Yep.
You're the second to headliner, okay? Second to last band. You get there at 5, load in, sit around. Nobody gives a fuck about you. And then you go up there and play for 45 minutes after driving 2 hours and leaving work early.
Yep.
Paying job.
Yep.
And then here's $50 and 2 drink chips.
Right, and that's all you get. And you walk away with it.
It's a slap in the face either way, honestly.
Yeah.
And not, we can go off on a whole nother tangent about how we get paid on streaming.
Right.
When people stream our music online, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like we're just complaining. But
no, we're just stating
in
what
the whole
we
reality
know.
of it. Yeah, like we've been doing this since I don't even
2015.
know when. Yeah, it's been a hot minute, and you see everything that happens. And there are people who do it better and do it worse, but it's just like it's not fair. It never will be. It's not a level playing field.
It's never been our uncle was popular on JJO back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was the same shit.
Yeah,
it's the same shit. Big Brother is going to tell you what to listen to, what's popular, and that's not why we're here. We're not complaining. We're telling you from our experience what we've seen.
We're going to be opinionated.
So yes, cover shows fucking suck. But if you're out there and you want to play 5 minutes from your house and you want to make at least $300 for a 3-hour, 4-hour show,
right,
you will play covers. You will learn. If you want exposure, you will play covers. Unfortunately, that's how we got our start, and then it transitioned into a couple of years later, we're playing Summerfest. Year later, we're opening for Caroline Spine, and then we get booked because we put in the work on our originals as well. So cover shows suck, but again, if you want to make some money, sometimes you got to do it.
They have their place, I guess.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are some people that just play in cover bands, right? Like there are,
and unfortunately, some of them. That's their only job.
Well, I mean, like that makes money
because they make enough money, right?
If you do it right, you can do it and make money doing it. But it really takes a certain kind of want to do that. I mean, if I played in a band that was like covers only and it was like more of a relaxed setup, I mean, yeah, that would be nice to do. I mean, I played in a couple of cover bands just like to fill in, and that was nice and relaxed. It was just like, oh yeah, just show up and play the songs that you listen to.
What gets me is the tribute bands where people are looking and dressing just like them, and I'm like, I can't do that.
No, that's fair. I mean, it's its own right and its own thing. I feel like like you said earlier, our start was kind of to write our own music. Like we played in pep band when we were younger and did all that like rigmarole when it came to like high school stuff and kind of learning the instruments. But once you get the itch to write your own music, it's hard to continue to play covers because like these covers are good. Yes, like everything about this music is good, but like here's my addition to the pool of music I have.
I just remember writing our first songs. We were jacked up and just that was like a drug. It was just like a high from writing our own songs and to be able to share that with people and especially when people can connect with it. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean it feeds the beast when it comes to like doing it, right? It's just like you get out there and you write a song and then you perform that song and people like it. It's just like, well, I want to go and write more. It's like, I mean, to flip flop off of cover shows, like original shows are their own thing, right? When the crowd is expecting an original band and they're expecting something new, and maybe like the headliner is some really heavy band, but they know there's some bands beforehand. Maybe they're there for it, but they like the new bands coming up. That's a really exciting show to be a part of, just because like, you can get up there and like everybody's new that you're listening to them. Maybe you haven't heard them before.
There is something to be said when you can play an original show and go out there for 45 minutes and give it hell.
Yeah.
I mean, give it your all, no matter what kind of music you're playing, but you are sweating balls and you are up there and you come off stage and your voice is fried and
people are trying to talk to you.
You got people like that was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like that beats out any paycheck from a cover show.
Yeah.
It really does.
And I mean that's half the battle, right? Is that paycheck, because those shows don't pay no matter what.
They don't pay.
You'll break even at best.
Original
really.
shows you get $50 and drink chips and that's about it. And then you spend $50 on the way home.
I mean, sometimes you get like merch and whatnot. People will buy merch, which is really nice. Like that's not to sound like greedy or anything. It's just like that's just the way it is.
That means more to me than when the venues pay you for showing up.
Right.
Here's $50 for showing up.
If it paid to do music free, I would. Right. But it's just like you
can't.
You want to get paid to do it.
Yeah.
It's because it's its own thing.
We'll tackle this in another segment. We'll tackle original shows and music issues in another segment and our experiences with that. But this is about cover shows. Again, cover shows suck. Depending on what you're doing, what your goal is. But they pay very well. So thanks for tuning in.
In comparison.
Yeah, in comparison. So we've done a lot of cover shows. We've done a lot of original shows. It's all on what you want to do. They're both double-edged swords. So again, this is episode 2 of the podcast. So thanks. I'm Trey.
That's Tristan.
We're out.
Thank you for listening to the Backline Podcast.